I love this track. We are at Virginia International Raceway here, and we've got a good start making our way through several cars. Intentionally started from the back because I did not feel ready yet to go around this on cold tires. I do need to practice more on cold tires, so if you know any resources for cold tire practice, let me know. Turn 1 always going to be full of chaos, at least that's what we're anticipating, so we're going to stay far away from it. On the outside, not ideal. I do botch that entry and the braking, so at some point here I just stop the car entirely because I don't want to ruin everyone else's race, and we let everyone go past. Now that we've sorted that out, we're no better off than we were before. We're no worse off than we were before either. So off we go again, trying to catch up. We do start in the very back. We are now at the very, very back, even further back than before. But we're going to end up right near the podium positions. That initial excursion off track has unsettled me a little bit, and I make a couple more mistakes. I just need to put my head down and get on with it. This is the highlights version only. If you want to see the full race recap, it's also on my channel. Full race recaps every Sunday, and then highlights usually every Wednesday. So let's see, can we make up these lost positions? Can we get our way to the front? In the same lap, we're actually now catching up. We seem like we're very far behind them, but it actually turns out we're close enough to make a move on the inside here, get a good exit out of that corner. We're off the racing line. The car on the side of us does back out, because now we're on the racing line here, onto this downhill section. Cars go off on the right and on the left, so without us doing anything, we're making up more spots. Down this straight, always interesting. See if we can catch up. We're a little bit too far away from that car to make a move, but I pretend I'm going to make a move, and the car on the left does brake way earlier than I would have, so I do make the move. I was fully prepared to pull out if the car had not seen me or had gone a little bit further before braking, but they braked early, so I just made the move and moved the car around the corner. So that move worked. One of my goals this season is to be a little bit more aggressive with the overtakes and not so much rely on the other cars making a mistake, but instead making moves myself when the opportunities present themselves without sacrificing my safety rating too much. Down the corkscrew here, we're seeing a yellow car in front of us. As long as we can see cars in front of us, that's the goal. We can try to catch up to them. On the right-hand turn, I do gear down to gear 2 very often. Not sure if that's necessary, or if gear 3 is actually preferred and better. Presumably is, because gear 3 means we're usually going faster than if we were in gear 2. Alright, we've made a move on this car. We're side by side. Well, they're making a move on us. They've caught up to us, and we're keeping it tight, staying on the inside. The car does not necessarily trust us, so they do back out on it. And we keep the racing line, stay on the inside, and we've defended that position well. That means we can now focus on the car ahead, see if we can catch up to them now that the threat from behind is temporarily gone. The car has gone off on the side here. And in the corkscrew section, we're now exceptionally close. We can hopefully materialize some overtake as well. I do pull back a little bit because that hopefully allows me to set up a later apex and an earlier application of the throttle. It did not work out that well, so we're gonna have to try again. Now we're close enough to that car, setting up on this back straight, trying to get into the draft. Again, different move this time. They defend. We're poking our nose in ever so slightly, not enough to unsettle them. And I decided against making a move here in the lunge. It was not worth it. I was too far behind them, I thought. Just a good opportunity to observe how they're driving and where they're going, what their braking points are, what their reference points are, so that maybe I can identify a corner where I have the upper hand. Here, just showing our bumper to the car and seeing if we can unsettle them. If we couldn't, so we try the same thing again. I back up a little bit, try to get a better solid exit out of this corner. This time it works out a little bit better, but we're not close enough to be fully in the draft. We're getting a little bit of that effect. The car behind us has fallen off a little bit, so that's good. No pressure from there. We're going to get closer and closer. Catching up. Good. Again, earlier application of the throttle to go into the next acceleration phase. We're coming side by side, and I do decide to back out. Another one of those situations where I wasn't quite ready to sacrifice the line when I knew that they would be drifting over to the right, which is the racing line. But now this time on this back straight, we're getting a good exit, a good run. We're close enough that we're in the draft. They defend by being in the middle of the track. Excellent. But we're picking the inside. We've made our intentions clear and we're braking. I'm fully prepared to back out if they had pulled over to the right, but they are also staying on the left-hand side, giving us plenty of room. Fair enough. So the move is completed and we make the move stick. We skip ahead to the end of the race. We've started on the very back and made it to a P4, gaining safety rating, gaining iRating, having successfully pulled off a little bit more aggressive overtaking moves, perhaps too much. Let me know in the comment if that was alright or if that's a little bit out of control and I need to rein it back in. Still trying to improve. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and I'll see you around for the next one. Thanks very much. Have a good day. Bye bye.